Welcome to the very first episode of Gen Z Wealth and Wellness,
Ooh, very exciting.
the show that's here to help all of you out there
Yeah,
navigate the wild world of money and
absolutely.
wellness.
Yeah, because adulting is hard.
Adulting is hard enough.
Right.
Let's face it, without stressing about your bank account.
Exactly. We're all about breaking down complicated money stuff.
Yes,
Offering you some practical tips, but
Mhm.
most importantly, keeping it real.
keeping it real.
No judgment here.
Yeah,
Just
yeah.
straight talk
Yeah.
and relatable advice.
Relatable advice. That's what we like.
That's what we're here for.
Exactly. Think of us as your financial BFFs.
Yes.
You know, the ones who actually get why you impulse bought those concert tickets when you should have been saving for rent.
We've all been there.
We've all been there.
I know I have.
Speaking of impulse buys,
Okay.
for this first deep dive,
Uh-huh.
we're tackling a topic that's probably on a lot of your minds.
Okay. Doom spending.
Oh, yeah. And retail therapy.
Thing.
It's a real thing.
Yeah.
That feeling when the world feels a bit crazy
Mm-hmm.
and you find yourself with a shopping cart
Uh-huh.
full of stuff
Yeah.
you don't really need.
Yeah.
But hey, at least it makes you feel a little bit better for a minute.
Right. It's like that temporary escape
Right.
for the doom and gloom.
Yeah.
But let's be real.
Mm-hmm.
That credit card bill,
Tell me.
it eventually shows up.
Ugh.
And that's when the real stress kicks in.
That's when the real stress kicks in.
So let's start by understanding the science behind
Okay.
why stress leads us to spend money we maybe shouldn't.
Okay, I'm ready.
It all comes down to our brain chemistry.
Ooh.
When you're stressed, your
Mm.
body releases a hormone called cortisol.
Cortisol.
You know,
Yeah.
the fight or flight response that
Mm.
kicks in when you're facing a deadline.
Oh,
Your
wow.
Wi-Fi goes out right before a Zoom meeting. Oh my gosh, the worst cortisol, the ultimate mood killer.
I'm pretty sure I have a permanent cortisol drip going on at this point.
That's very relatable. I think a lot of people feel that way these days. And here's the thing.
Okay.
Cortisol can actually cloud
What?
the part of your brain
Yeah.
that's responsible for rational thinking and decision-making.
So basically, stress makes us temporarily lose our minds.
Essentially, yeah.
And go on a shopping spree that explains a lot.
Instead of thinking long-term, your
Yeah.
brain is focused on seeking immediate pleasure
Okay,
and relief,
gotcha.
which often translates into impulse buys.
So it's not just me being weak-willed, it's
No.
actually my brain betraying me.
No.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's kind of reassuring, even also a little scary.
Yeah.
But wait, there's more, right?
There is.
Didn't you mention something about dopamine too?
Yes, dopamine plays a huge role
Okay.
in this whole stress spending cycle.
Okay.
So when you buy something new,
Mm-hmm.
even if it's something small,
Yeah.
your brain releases a surge of dopamine.
Dopamine's that feel-good chemical.
Right.
That makes us crave everything.
Yes.
From chocolate cake to TikTok likes.
all of the good things.
All of the good things.
Basically, and that dopamine rush
Okay.
creates a temporary mood boost.
Mhm.
It's a little reward that your brain craves
Yep.
when you're feeling stressed or down.
So it's like a quick hit of happiness,
Mm-hmm.
but it fades pretty quickly.
Yeah.
And then you're left with the same problems plus an empty wallet.
Precisely.
Uh-huh.
And that's why it's so important to be aware of these mechanisms,
Okay.
to understand how our brains are wired
Mhm.
to seek pleasure and avoid pain,
Okay.
especially when we're feeling stressed.
Okay, so we've got stress hormones pushing us towards instant gratification.
Yes.
And dopamine making us feel good about those impulse buys.
Uh-huh.
But what does this actually look like in our lives?
Right.
Especially as Gen Z.
Good question.
You mentioned the terms retail therapy and doom spending.
Yes.
Those sound pretty intense.
They are,
Yeah.
and they're both fueled by this interplay of stress,
Okay.
emotions, and brain chemistry.
Uh,
So retail therapy is that classic idea of using shopping to boost your mood,
Okay.
treating yourself to something
Okay, yeah.
that you want
Mm.
as a pick-me-up.
Like when you have a bad day
Uh-huh.
and suddenly that new pair of sneakers
Yes.
seems absolutely essential to your happiness.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And for a lot of Gen Z, it's not just about the stuff itself. It's about the experience,
Okay.
the feeling of control
Uh-huh.
in a world that often feels
Yeah.
chaotic and unpredictable.
Totally chaotic.
Right.
Yeah, it's like a little rebellion against all the doom and gloom.
Mm-hmm.
But then there's doom spending,
Okay.
which sounds even more intense.
Yeah.
What are that all about?
So doom spending is when you spend money to
Ah.
self-soothe
Okay.
because you feel pessimistic about the economy,
Mm-hmm.
your future,
Mm-hmm.
or maybe even the state of the world in general.
Okay, yeah.
It's like if the world's ending,
Yeah.
might as well buy that new video game mentality.
So it's like a financial version of the
Yes.
eat, drink, and be merry
Oh,
for tomorrow we die philosophy.
pretty much.
Okay.
It's fueled by a sense of helplessness
Mm.
and uncertainty about the future,
Mm.
which, let's be honest, is a pretty common feeling for Gen Z.
Yeah.
I mean, we've grown up with recessions, pandemics, climate change,
Yep.
It's a lot to process.
It's a lot. It's like we inherited a world that's
Mm,
constantly telling us things are
right.
falling apart.
Yeah.
So it's hard not to internalize that feeling
Right.
of impending doom.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And when the future feels bleak,
Yeah.
it's understandable to want to find some comfort
Mm-hmm.
and control
Yeah.
in the
Okay.
present,
I get it.
even if it's just through a small purchase.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. While those impulse buys might provide temporary relief, they
Mm-hmm.
don't actually address the underlying issues
Okay.
that are causing this stress and anxiety in the first place.
Right. It's like putting a Band-Aid on a bullet wound.
Ooh, I like that. That's a good one.
Yeah. It might look okay for a minute,
Uh-huh.
but you're still bleeding underneath.
That's a great analogy.
Yes.
And that's why we need to develop healthier coping mechanisms
Yeah.
and financial habits
Okay.
that actually empower us
Yeah.
rather than just providing temporary relief.
Okay. So how do we do that?
Right.
How do we break free from this stress spending cycle?
Well, one crucial step is understanding
Right.
how social media plays into all of this.
Oh, yeah.
Because let's be real,
Mm-hmm.
scrolling through TikTok or Instagram
down.
is basically a nonstop temptation to spend money.
Tell me about it.
Right.
My For You page
Oh,
is
yeah.
basically a curated list of things I can't afford,
Yes.
but suddenly feel like I desperately need. It's like
Like-
TikTok knows my bank balance better than I do.
Right. Well, it's not magic, it's data science. The algorithms track your every view and comment,
Oh, no.
building a profile of your interests and desire.
So it's like they're creating a personalized shopping experience just for you,
Right.
even if that experience leads to a maxed out credit card.
Exactly.
Oh my gosh.
And let's talk about TikTok specifically.
Okay.
That platform is designed for quick hits of dopamine.
Yeah.
And shopping fits right into that.
Oh yeah.
You see a cool gadget, a must-have beauty product, a trendy outfit,
Yeah.
and boom, you've added it to your cart before you even realize what's happening.
Oh, and don't forget those TikTok made me buy it videos.
Oh, yes.
It's like social proof on steroids.
Exactly. It's like everyone's doing it, so
Right.
it must be good, right?
Yeah.
But it's important to remember that those videos are often part of a larger marketing strategy,
Uh-huh.
even if they seem authentic and spontaneous.
Mhm. It's like subliminal advertising,
Yes.
but with a catchy dance and a discount code.
Right.
And it's not just TikTok, right?
No.
Instagram is another masterclass
Oh, yeah.
in making you feel like you need to spend money to keep up with everyone else.
Absolutely. Instagram is all about those perfectly curated lives,
Yes.
those aspirational images that can make you feel like you're not enough.
Yeah.
Unless you have the same clothes,
Yeah.
travel to the same places,
Uh-huh.
eat at the same restaurants, the list goes on.
It's FOMO, fear of missing out,
Yes.
at its finest.
It really is.
And let's be real.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of those perfect lives we see on Instagram
Right.
are carefully constructed illusions,
Yes.
often sponsored by brands
Yes.
who are paying influencers to showcase their products.
Right. Gen Z tends to trust influencers
Mm-hmm.
more than traditional advertising.
Totally.
It feels more authentic, more relatable,
Uh-huh.
like getting a recommendation from a friend.
Yeah.
But it's still marketing, and it's designed to influence your spending habits.
It's like they're so cool and relatable. They wouldn't steer me wrong, right? But sometimes
Yeah.
those influencer recommendations can lead us down a path of unnecessary spending.
Right.
We forget that they're often getting paid to
Yeah.
promote those products.
Yes.
Whether it's through free stuff, sponsorship deals, or affiliate links.
All of it.
Ugh.
And those discount codes they often promote,
Oh, yeah.
those create a sense of urgency.
Right.
It's like, this deal is too good to pass up.
Yeah.
I have to buy it now.
Totally.
But often that feeling of urgency is manufactured.
Yeah.
And it can lead us to make impulsive decisions
Yeah.
that we later regret.
It's like our brains are constantly being bombarded
Yes, they are.
with messages that say, spend money,
Mm-hmm.
be happy,
Yeah.
keep up with everyone else.
Keep up.
It's exhausting.
It is.
And it can really take a toll
Mm-hmm.
on our mental health and our wallets.
Yes.
So how do we fight back?
Good question.
How do we resist the siren song of social media shopping
Right.
and reclaim our financial sanity?
Well, the first step is awareness.
Okay.
We need to recognize how these platforms are designed to influence us,
Okay.
and we need to be more mindful of our own triggers.
Okay.
Those things that make us more likely to spend impulsively.
Right. Because once we understand the game,
Yes.
we can start playing it smarter.
Right.
So what are some practical strategies for
Right.
navigating social media
Mm-hmm.
without falling into those spending traps?
Well, one of the simplest
Okay.
but most effective techniques is the 24-hour rule.
Oh, the 24-hour rule. I've heard of this one.
Yes,
It's like a cooling off period
it is.
for your shopping impulses, right?
Exactly. Whenever you feel that urge to buy something,
Uh-huh.
especially if it's triggered by something you saw on social media,
Okay.
just hit the pause button,
Okay.
add it to your cart or wish list,
Got it.
but don't actually check out.
Okay.
Wait at least 24 hours
Mhm.
and see if you still feel the same way about it.
That's a great tip. And I've found that it really works
It does.
because often that initial urge to buy
Right.
feels away after a day or two.
Yeah.
You realize you didn't really need it after all.
Exactly. It helps you separate those impulsive desires
Mm-hmm.
from your true needs and wants.
Okay.
And it gives you time to do some research.
Yeah.
Make sure you're getting the best deal,
Yeah.
not just falling for a clever marketing tactic.
Speaking of research,
Okay.
I think it's also helpful to be more critical
Yes.
of the content we consume on social media.
Absolutely. Don't take everything at face value.
Yeah.
Remember that a lot of what you see on social media is curated, filtered,
Absolutely.
and often sponsored.
So basically,
Yeah.
don't compare your behind the scenes to everyone else's highlight reel.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And when you see a product being recommended,
Okay.
ask yourself some questions.
Like what?
Is this influencer genuinely enthusiastic about this product?
Okay.
Or are they just getting paid to promote it?
Right.
Does this product align with my values and needs?
Yeah.
Or am I just being swayed by the hype?
You like that?
You know, it's
Yeah.
all about being a conscious consumer,
Mm-hmm.
making informed decisions,
Right.
and not letting those algorithms control our wallets.
Oh, it's so hard though.
I know, it's tough.
Yeah.
But we can do it.
Okay. I'm ready.
We can do it.
Let's do it.
All right.
And speaking of control,
Okay.
let's talk about budgeting.
All right, let's do it.
It's one of those essential adulting skills
Yeah,
that a lot of us Gen Zers struggle with.
I hear you.
Yeah, budgeting can feel restrictive and intimidating,
It can.
but it doesn't have to be.
It doesn't.
Remember what we said about financial self-care?
Yes,
Well, budgeting is a huge part of that.
it is.
It's about making choices
Mm-hmm.
that align with your values and long-term goals,
Yes.
not just reacting to those immediate impulses.
Right.
So it's about having a plan for your money
Yes.
rather than just letting it slip through your fingers.
Exactly. And it doesn't have to be complicated.
Okay, good.
There are so many different budgeting methods out there.
Okay.
From the classic 50-30-20 rule
Yeah, I've heard of that one.
to more creative approaches
Okay.
like cash stuffing
Oh, yeah, cash stuffing.
or the envelope system.
I've seen those videos on TikTok
Oh, yeah.
where people divide their money into different envelopes
Mm-hmm.
for rent, groceries, fun money.
Yes,
It's so satisfying to watch.
it is.
It's like a visual representation of your budget
Yeah, right.
coming to
It
life.
can be really helpful for
Yeah.
those of us who are more visual learners.
Yeah.
It makes budgeting feel less abstract
Okay.
and more tangible.
Like it.
And I think it also taps into that whole gamification trend that
Yeah.
Gen Z loves.
Yes.
It's like turning budgeting into a challenge.
Yeah,
A game you can win.
I love that.
Right.
And speaking of challenges,
Okay.
have you ever tried a no-spend day
Ooh.
or a low-buy month?
Yes.
I've definitely dabbled in no-spend days.
Okay.
And let me tell you, it's harder than it sounds,
It can be.
but it's also incredibly rewarding to see how much money you can save
Yeah.
by simply being more mindful
Uh-huh.
of your spending habits.
Right.
It's like hitting the reset button on your relationship with money.
I love that. That's a great point. And
Yeah.
it helps you identify those areas
Yeah.
where you might be overspending
Yeah.
without even realizing it.
Okay, so we've talked about the 24-hour rule,
Yes.
being more critical of social media and trying
Uh-huh.
out different budgeting methods.
Uh-huh.
But what about those times
Right.
when you just need a little extra help?
Okay.
Maybe some professional guidance?
That's a great question.
Yeah.
There are so many resources available to Gen Z.
Oh, cool.
Whether it's financial advisors,
Okay.
credit counseling services, or
Mhm.
even just talking to your parents.
Yeah.
Or a trusted friend who's good with money.
Right. It's okay to ask for help.
It is.
It doesn't mean you're bad with money.
Exactly.
It means you're proactive
Yes.
and committed to improving your financial well-being.
It shows that you care.
Exactly.
And there are tons of amazing online communities
Oh, cool.
where you can connect with other Gen Zers who
Mm.
are navigating similar financial challenges.
Okay.
You can share tips, support each other,
Yeah.
and even find accountability partners to keep you on track.
It's like having a financial cheer squad in your pocket.
Exactly.
Because let's face it, adulting is hard enough
It is.
without trying to figure out this whole money thing on your own.
Absolutely. And on that note, let's
Right.
take a quick break and
Right.
come back with even more practical advice
Exactly.
on how to build a healthier and happier relationship with money.
Awesome. I'm ready.
All right. All right. So we're back.
We're back and ready to dive back into all
Yes.
things money and wellness.
Absolutely.
And before the break,
Mhm.
we were talking about finding support
Yeah.
and community.
Right.
which is so important when it comes to anything challenging,
Yes.
especially finances.
It's true. We often feel like we have to figure things out on our own.
Yeah, totally.
But there's so much power in connecting with others who are
Oh.
going through similar experiences.
Right, because let's face it, nobody taught us this stuff in school.
Right?
We're kind of just winging it,
Yeah.
hoping for the best.
Yeah.
But luckily,
It is.
there are tons of resources out there, both online and in person,
Yeah.
that can help us navigate this whole money maze.
Absolutely.
And speaking of navigating that money maze,
Okay.
one resource that's become really popular with Gen Z
Yes.
is Buy Now, Pay Later services, or BNPL for short.
BNPL.
BNPL.
It's everywhere.
It's everywhere.
It's the siren song of split your payments, no interest.
It sounds like a dream.
Right.
But is it too good to be true?
Well, like most things in life, it depends.
Okay.
BNPL can be a useful tool
Okay.
if used responsibly.
Okay.
It allows you to break down large purchases into smaller, more manageable payments,
Okay.
which can be helpful
Yeah.
when you're on a tight budget
Yeah.
and need something essential.
Right, because we can resist the temptation
Oh, yeah.
to snag that new phone
Right.
or that must-have laptop
Mm-hmm.
when you can
Yes.
pay for it in tiny installments.
It feels so much better.
Right.
But here's the catch.
Okay.
It's easy to get carried away and overextend yourself. You might end up with multiple BNPL plans running at the same time,
Okay. Yeah.
which can quickly become overwhelming
Yeah.
and lead to debt.
It's like juggling flaming torches, but with your finances, one slip up and it's all over.
Exactly. So if you're going to use BNPL,
Okay.
make sure you treat it like any other form of credit.
Okay.
Set a budget,
Mm-hmm.
track your payments,
Okay.
and only use it for purchases you absolutely need
Got it.
and can realistically afford.
Solid advice.
Yes.
And speaking of budgeting,
Yeah.
any other tips for making it less of a chore
Mm-hmm.
and more of, dare I say,
I love this question.
fun
Mark.
experience.
Absolutely. Remember, we talk about financial self-care.
yes.
Well, budgeting is a huge part of that.
Okay.
It's not about deprivation.
Okay.
It's about empowerment.
I like
It's
it.
about making conscious choices
Mhm.
that align with your values and goals.
So instead of focusing on what I can't spend money on,
Right.
I should think about what I want to spend money on,
Yeah.
the things that bring me joy and make my life better.
Exactly. Maybe it's travel.
Ooh, travel.
Experiences.
I like experiences.
Saving for a down payment on a house.
Okay.
Investing in your education.
Yeah.
Or just having that financial peace of mind
Yeah.
that comes from knowing
Mm-hmm.
you're in control of your money.
I like that.
It's about creating a plan
Okay.
that reflects your priorities.
So it's not about saying no to everything.
Right.
It's about saying yes to the things that matter most.
Yes. I love that.
And you mentioned different budgeting methods earlier.
Mm-hmm.
What are some of the popular ones
Okay.
that Gen Z might find helpful?
Well, there's the classic 50-30-20 rule,
Yeah.
which is a great starting point.
Okay.
It suggests allocating 50% of your income to needs, 30% to wants,
Okay.
and 20% to savings and debt repayment.
That sounds pretty straightforward.
It is.
I like
And then
it.
there are more visual methods,
Okay.
right? The cash stuffing we talked about,
Yes, cash stuffing.
where you physically divide your cash into different envelopes
Uh-huh.
labeled with spending categories.
I've been wanting to try that one.
It's fun.
It seems so satisfying
It
to
is.
see your money organized like that,
Right.
and it makes it harder to overspend
Yeah.
because you're literally taking money out of an envelope
Uh-huh.
each time you make a purchase.
It brings that element of mindfulness
Right.
to your spending.
Yeah.
And then there are budgeting apps.
Oh, yeah. Budgeting apps.
Which can be super helpful for tracking your spending, setting financial goals,
Okay.
and even automating your savings.
Yeah, technology can be a huge asset
It really
when
can.
it comes to managing money.
It takes a lot of the guesswork out of it.
It does.
And many apps are designed specifically for Gen Z
Cool.
with features like personalized insights,
Okay.
spending challenges,
I like that.
and even investment options.
So we've covered budgeting,
Yes.
BNPL,
Mm-hmm.
and the importance of finding support.
Yes.
What are some other things Gen Z should keep in mind
Right.
as they navigate this whole adulting thing?
Well, I think it's important to remember that financial well-being is a journey,
Okay.
not a destination.
I like that.
There will be ups and downs,
Yeah.
successes and setbacks,
Yep.
and that's okay.
Gotta
It's
suck
not
to
about
that.
being perfect. It's about progress.
Yeah.
And celebrating those small wins along the way, like
Yeah.
the first time you pay up a credit card
Yeah.
or reach a savings goal.
That feels good.
It does feel so good.
It does.
It's those small victories that keep you motivated and remind you that you're capable of achieving your financial goals.
Yes.
And remember, you don't have to figure it all out on your
I
own.
like to hear that.
There are tons of resources available, from
There's-
financial advisors to online communities
Uh-huh.
to websites like GenZWealthAndWellness.com,
GenZWealthAndWellness.com.
where you can find articles, tips, and advice specifically tailored to Gen Z.
Yes, GenZWealthAndWellness.com is your one-stop shop
It is.
for all things money and well-being.
That's right.
Be sure to check it out. Be sure to check it out. And on that note, I think it's time to wrap up this first episode
Oh, already.
of Gen Z Wealth and Wellness.
Time flies when you're having fun.
It does. We've covered a lot of ground today.
Yeah, we have.
From the psychology of spending to the influence of social media
Yeah.
to practical tips
Right.
for budgeting and finding support.
Yes.
Hopefully you're feeling a little more informed
I hope so.
and a lot less overwhelmed.
Yes, less overwhelmed, more empowered.
More empowered.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that.
That's what we want.
And remember, you've got this Gen Z.
You do.
We believe in you.
We do.
You're a generation of change makers,
Right.
innovators,
Mm-hmm.
and yes, financially savvy individuals.
Absolutely.
Keep those budgets balanced,
Yes.
those spirits high.
Keep them high.
And remember, you're not alone on this journey.
You're not. We're all in this together.
We are all in this
Right,
together.
that's sure.
Until next time.
See you then.
Bye.